Hello and welcome. My name is Steve Hefferon. I'm the co-founder of the Healthy Back Institute, and today I have a very important message for all of you truck drivers. Now, before I begin, I'm going to break this up into several segments. I'm going to have a little bit of education. I'm going to go through a series of stretches and exercises, and then I'm going to come back and offer you some support, our contact information, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. Okay. Before I show you the exercises, I need to go through just 1 minute worth of education to help you understand how the body works and why the activities that you're doing are making your condition symptomatic. They have to do with muscle imbalances. They have to do with our bodies adapting to the habits, the patterns, the postures, and the positionings that we put ourselves through every day. And over time, the body then begins to create these imbalances in the body, and those imbalances in our body pull our pelvis, pull our spine into these abnormal positions, and that's what causes the condition to develop. So let me give you a quick example. When we sit all day long, our glutes are not doing any work. They're not getting any stronger. In fact, not that they get weak, but they become inhibited, meaning the nerves just don't fire. They don't keep the body in that neutral, balanced, stable state. They don't. It's just what happens. The second part of sitting is that the glutes get weak, but the hip flexors, the muscles on the fronts of the legs and into the hip, get tight. They shorten. And when the one group gets weak and the other group gets tight, your pelvis goes into this abnormal position, which causes abnormal curvature of the lower back. And that is what causes a condition to develop or a condition to become symptomatic over time. So, what I'm about to show you is a very simple set of therapeutic exercises, not to fix, change, or cure the problem, your diagnosis, but to help stabilize your body just a little bit so that you can tolerate the next leg of your trip or the next day. And if you do these exercises consistently throughout over time, over your course of your career, you can help minimize any of these symptoms that develop because of the condition that you have. All right, now let me give you the 3 therapeutic stretches and exercises that I think are going to help you the most. But first, let me just ask you and tell you very specifically to make sure you do these inside of your tolerance. Do not try and force anything. Do not try and do it harder than you think or as much as you can tolerate. Do it at a comfortable level. Don't feel like you need to hold it for an extended period of time in the beginning. There is no right answer as far as when to do it, how long to hold it, how often, how many times per day. There is no right answer. It all depends on you and your tolerance to the activity and your availability. All right? Now, the first one, we're calling it a deep squat. I love this exercise because it stretches a lot of the muscles and it stretches the lower back too. So, the first thing that I'll say is that most people can't do it as well as I can, only because I've been doing it for a long time. I will ask you to find something solid to hold on to. I'm using a chair simply as a demonstration. Again, if you use anything, make sure that it's solid and doesn't move. So I'd ask you to hold on. Now let me show you one thing real quick. If you're big, separate your feet as wide as possible and angle your toes out. That way when you come down, you can come down into this deep, wide squat and you have availability of room. For me, I tend to be my feet a little narrower and a little straighter, and it makes it easy for me. Now this is me. Let me show you how I want you to start it. Hold on to something solid. I can't tell you what, but hold on to something solid. The tendency is that if you can't do it, to fall backwards. So hold on and allow yourself to come all the way down. It may be that you're feeling pressure, you feel like you're really having to hold on. That's okay. Pull yourself a little forward, relax, come out of it nice and slow. If that felt good, 1, maybe 2 times, again, coming down, nice and slow. Feel like the body's relaxing into this. Take nice deep breaths and making sure that you're relaxed while you're doing it, and you'll get a better result out of it. Again, remember that if you need to separate or widen your feet and rotate your feet outwards in the beginning. As you get better at it, bring your feet in, bring your feet more perpendicular to your body, and it just gives it a little bit more challenge. All right, the second exercise, again, this is a strengthening one. So that was a stretch. This is a strengthening one. And remember I said you don't really get weak, but you get inhibited. The idea in this, if you can show my feet, is our feet naturally rotate outward. And so if you rotate your feet outward in a standing position and squeeze your glutes, you can feel like you can make a really good contraction. Now, if you reverse that and rotate inwards, and now if I could ask you to squeeze your glutes again, most people say it's harder to do. Well, it simply means that you're not getting as good a muscle contraction, which means that the butt to brain connection is not necessarily there. And so the exercise is not toed out. The exercise is actually toed in, contract, relax, contract, relax. Put your hand on your glutes to make sure that you can feel the motion or feel the muscle actually contracting. Again, there is no number, there's no set, there's no repetition, how many times per day. It's all a matter of how you feel. This is something that if you did it maybe 50 times in a row, you'd actually start to feel a much better contraction. And it's not that you got instantaneously stronger, it's that the body has a better connection, a better path, and neurologically, you can increase the amount of contraction simply by repeating it and getting the body to do it. But over time, you can actually improve the strength of the glutes. And again, that is one thing that is critical for those people who sit all day long. You can't expect to be pain-free when your glutes get weak. So all this exercise is designed to do is to get your glutes firing, get them a little bit stronger, but get them a little bit more active. All right, so again, the exercise is in a toed-in position, and again, numbers, set, reps, how many times per day, 100% up to you. All right, now the third exercise we're going to do is really a stretch, but what I'm going to ask you to do is find someplace where you can actually put your foot up on something to elevate it. Makes it a little bit easier. I'm going to ask you to tip your pelvis backwards, so this way. All right, so this would be forward, this would be backward, and I'm just going to ask you to come, lean in a little bit, and you're stretching the hip flexor. In this case, I'm stretching the hip flexor on my left side. I do want you to do both sides. Now, I could say do them equally, but what I really want you to do is do both sides, but stretch the tighter side more. I really want you to get both hip flexors equally as flexible. And if you can get both hip flexors equally flexible, then your body or your pelvis will be a little bit more balanced. But as you're in this stretched position, I want you to feel. How does this one feel versus how does this one feel? For me, my right side is a little tighter. So I'll stretch both, but I'll spend a little bit more time stretching my left side. Again, one simple way to help balance the pelvis. All right, so we've gone through 3 different activities: the deep squat, the toed-in glute squeeze, and the hip flexor stretch. If you just did those multiple times per day to your tolerance, there's no way you can't benefit. All right, guys, I hope you appreciated that. Again, remember, do everything to your tolerance. Do not try and force or overdo anything, as it may cause an irritation during this process. As promised, please feel free to contact us at the email below or call us at our phone number, 1-800-216-4908 with any questions, comments, or concerns. Take care.